La emisión está comenzando. Todos los asistentes están en modo de solo escucha.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome everyone. This is Maria Fernandez from Dexma. Thank you for connecting today with us. Thank you for, we are really excited today because this topic, especially for me as marketing manager here in Dexma, is really interesting. I really want to help your companies to make the difference in our industry. And really we have a lot of people that register, a lot of people connected. Thank you very much for being with us. This is our agenda today. Welcome everyone again. I'm here with Guillermo. Hello, Guillermo.
Hi. Good afternoon, good evening, depending from where you're connecting from.
Yeah, indeed, because we have many people from many different countries, and it's really special for us to have you there. So we are going to talk today about something really important for all of you guys. It's how to differentiate your company. We are in a more and more competitive market and you need strategies. I'm going to talk about that with Guillermo, both of us, and then Guillermo is going to give you some more specific tools that Dexma has for ESCOs like you. Based on his experience working with our current partners and clients.
And just to remind you, this is one of the webinars from the series that we're doing to help you differentiate your ESCO. We keep doing different webinars from the past weeks, and there will be more coming, so stay tuned to our newsletter and to our emails because we will be updating you through there.
Exactly. And if you have any questions, we have a question box. We will try to answer you at the end of the session, and if not, we can answer you later by email. If you want to comment anything more specific, just say us and we will send you an email later.
Yeah, feel free to try a question at any time and we will try to address it jointly together at the end, or if not, we will do it on a one-to-one basis afterwards.
So let's go. Let's take this topic and let's start talking why did we do this webinar, why we are trying to give you some tips to make your business stand out. And it's because we are meeting more and more people like Ludo. Ludo is a professional, an energy efficiency professional. He founded his ESCO a few years ago, actually. He's an expert, and he's around there in the Belgium market, finding opportunities. He's pursuing new business, but he lost a lot of his prospects because he feels that it's very difficult to sell many concepts in our industry, but also to make his company stand out and make the difference from other companies that are pursuing the same kind of prospect or new client. He has a reduced team, but his company is full of expertise. He has engineers, he has people that it's really expert on what they do, but his team is constantly saying him, look, I think we also have a problem with the tools that we're using. We are not really optimizing everything that we could, or we are not really, on top, using the top what it's in the market, the most new. And of course, he has a family, he's married, he has a life, and he has a lot of problems and a lot of worries like he has in this picture. So I'm going to be Ludo today, and I'm going to try to position on that situation, and I'm going to ask Guillermo many questions today about how can I solve my, let's say, 4 problems and address them with 4 new strategies that could make my company make the difference in my next offer. So first of all, something that we are really listening, differentiation, and that's why we name this webinar like this, because what we are finding as ESCO is that it's really difficult to be different, and that we end up in competition with other companies just in a price war, my offer is better than yours, my price is better than yours.
Right.
So if you end up in this conversation, it's really difficult for you as an energy efficiency professional, as an energy manager, to demonstrate your value and what value add you to the end customer. So Guillermo, what can I do?
Right. So from our point of view, in order to draw the conversation from a price war and get it back at your own company, your own value, why you're different and why they should choose you, we think that one of the solutions would be to adopt a customized platform. In this case, it's a tech platform that you can offer to your customers. And what do I mean by that? So let us give us some examples. The tool that you offer to your customer can be perfectly white branded to adapt to your own needs, right? So the idea here is that the customer is more sort of, you're creating more value to him because the tool that he's going to use to see how he's consuming in a way that he understands, it's going to be branded as your own. So this will increase the interaction that you have with him, the number of touches that you have with him, and at the end, he will have you more in mind that he did before, right? So we feel that this is an important matter, and we see it expressed in results in terms of partners who go for a white branded solution tend to convert better and maintain their customers for a longer period, right?
Good. And anything else that we can, personalize, customize?
Right, absolutely. Using that same branding, we would, one of the options that you can go for is our customized reports. Now, these are reports that you can customize, and they will adapt to the logo that you're using in the branding to make them look just much nicer and more in the same line than to the platform. The idea here is to give a more simplified look, but that's going to stand out from all those Excels that you can draw, all those pivot tables. You can forget about that and present the information to the customer in a way that he will understand it, right? So the first idea is that it will catch his eye in an easy manner and he will understand better the numbers, right? If to that you can add your own personal value and your own personal logo, it will. We see that it tends to convert a lot more.
Good. For those of you thinking that maybe branding is not for you, that is a commodity or it's just image, I will totally agree in part with you that maybe it's not your main thing now, but as Guillermo mentioned, we really see that this is strongly important, especially for those of you with medium to big projects, because right. The client needs the brand, because think about the user, and the user needs a good experience. And if you can brand the platform to what they need and give your brand and a consistent image on the tools that they have, the engagement with the tools and the platform is bigger. And I think that reports really make the difference for all kind of projects. They will help you to say, I am the real expert that is making you saving money, I
Absolutely.
think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but there are more problems.
Okay. So
we are not going to finish here.
Okay.
As I was just mentioning, customers want experiences. The customer doesn't want anymore just features, just tools in the platform. They have their own special needs. So if you choose a platform that is closed and flexible, or something that is already in the market, like Ludo, for example, is using something that has been there for many, many years, how can you cover this experience need from the customer? What can you give to the customer that it's different?
Right. So we'd say that we have been in this same room and in many, many cases where every customer has his own little detail, his something that he wants to make his way because he's different from everyone else, right? So how do we cover this with a software that we sell to over 230 companies? How do we make it specific and not make the customer choose his own solution? So basically what we do is we use a software that can help you customize at all levels. We saw the first level of customization, that was the branding and the reports. So this is a first step, first layer. But if you want to go deeper to specific options or processes that our existing software is not doing at the moment, we can go deeper by creating different apps. Now, an app would be an extension of the software to do a specific process that it's currently not doing. just to understand it a little bit better, because it's just not having DEXCell on your pocket or on your smartphone, is going a little bit further. So we created an app market, right, where we can present different apps that do different functions. One of these examples would be, for instance, SolarView. So if you have a solar production, or you produce energy by, I don't know, you have your own energy, your own way to produce your energy, you can represent it here and see what your exported energy is, and how you can, if it's going to be better for you to sell that energy back to the market, or if it's better to accumulate it and use it, distributing it into different loads. So basically, we identified a need here, and we were able to create a new application to cover that need, right? So in these terms, you're going to be able to, using your own developers or a third party or even Dexma, develop any added value to our software, right? Other examples would be the Sinoptic app, where you can represent your installation, and in order to act on it and control it, right? So these would be some examples that we have before we move on to the
next problem. Yeah, just to be sure that I got it, because remember, I'm trying to be Ludo. I have a small team.
Right.
This means that if I find a developer, or if I have one good developer in my team, or maybe you guys can help me, and I have a client that asks me for a new functionality because they have a super complicated fabrication process,
right,
that they need to cover and track and measure and everything, we can make that or not?
Absolutely,
okay.
Yes. So we know that this will not be your everyday case, because
absolutely,
since our product is already very complete, you're going to be able to cover it through how the software it is.
Absolutely.
But this is built for that big project with that big customer that you want to win and you want to differentiate, and where other softwares are saying no, we're going to be able to say yes. So this is the main reason.
Good. But I have more trouble.
Okay. Let's get to them.
So hardware. And hardware is a big question, and we constantly try to help you. Even we at Dexma are not the hardware expert.
Right.
We focus on software, but this is really common in ESCOs like you guys.
Right.
Probably you have a platform already where you can only work with one or two devices, or you find that in your client number one, you're using the hardware A, let's call A,
right,
and in your client B, you're using the hardware X, and you have a mess with all data. What should you do? How can you handle that? Most of the ESCOs, like Ludo and many of you listening today, we are doing it with Excel.
Right.
And well, it's a little bit tricky, complicated, a lot of time. So how can we take the hardware, which is always a little bit complicated word, and use it in our favor to say, hey.
Right. So of course, this is always a tricky part of the solution. How do you work it? And it makes perfect sense, because every hardware manufacturer will have some software on top of it that you can use, but of course they will not let you put hardware from another manufacturer into their software.
Yep.
Now that's where Dexma comes to play as a hardware neutral software company. So we focus mainly on the software. Okay, we don't necessarily sell hardware actively. What we focus is, and we rely on, is the software. Now the main idea is to integrate here with as many hardware devices as we can find on the market, and gather their own readings and introduce them to our solution. We don't really care which brand it is that you're using, but we're offering just one platform to manage them all, right? So this is the main idea that we rely on. We have currently more than 82 different hardware brands integrated. So we will have you may see here some of the brands that you may use. Is that the case, or
yeah? Yeah, okay. I find Socomec, for example, right. Carlo Gavazzi.
Yeah, those are common and popular brands. Schneider Electric could be one of them.
Yeah.
And the main idea here is we integrate with their most popular meters, but if there's a specific device that you're using that you think, okay, they will definitely not have that, well, we remain open anyway, and we can adapt and integrate that new device for you.
This is extremely important also when it comes to profits, because maybe you're using some hardware that it's not so profitable for your ESCO business, and by having this amount of possibilities to integrate, maybe you can choose similar devices or even better devices, better prices for your customer. You can make a better offer to your prospects. So I find this really interesting also in sales, not only for managing time and everything, but also for helping my sales.
And this also, the problem that you described can sometimes create sort of a lock-in effect, because you start buying from one hardware manufacturer, so you are sort of tied up to them, to what they develop, what they come up. And sometimes that's not going to be the best hardware to use in a different project. So you're going to want to keep your options open and be able to choose the hardware that you want depending on the project and what you need, right? So this is where we can come in, and we can even recommend you some hardware options. If you have some questions like, I don't know, for this project I need a wireless solution because it's a requirement by the customer, but for the next one I'll need a wired solution. So we can come in here and try to advise you on what would be best, and even supply you with that option, since we have good relationships with all those manufacturers.
Good. And let's move to my final problem.
Okay.
ESCOs are constantly saying this to us at Dexma: I don't have time, or I don't have the team to prospect the market, or I'm losing many time on chasing every opportunity, because winning a new customer, and this is me speaking as marketing manager, it's not easy. I'm sorry guys, I can't tell you anything different from this. It's not easy, it's not impossible, but it takes time and it takes effort. So if my sales team is limited, if I don't have the proper time to really make good estimates or to go and meet every single prospect, what can we do as an ESCO to really add value at that point when prospecting the possible customers?
Okay, so this is again a very common issue with our partners. So you spend a lot of time preparing for that customer, trying to gain their business. You dedicate hours, resources, tables in Excel, and at the end it comes out not to. It doesn't come out to be anything, right? They choose a different competitor, or they don't choose at all. I mean, we're in a very popular market, energy efficiency, but it's hard to sort of close on those projects, right? So a tool that we are able to provide you with is an intelligent tool that can collect data only from the bills that the customer is going to have. You won't require an installation, any visit to the customer. You won't spend a single euro or dollar or pound going over there, but just with the available information that's out there, we're going to collect that data, analyze it, compare it with similar customers, with similar prospects in the same industry, in the same region, the same type of business, and we're going to come out with what we call an energy grader or an energy report that's going to provide you the right information to present to your customers with very little of your time, right? So we're doing the heavy work for you in this case, and you're going to have some numbers, some projections in there to show what the savings that they can be looking at could be, even with very limited investment from their side. So this is going to present, we think, pretty high advantages to you. We have already some successful cases where we see that partners using this solution are indeed converting a lot more of customers, putting less than half of the hours that the other ones are typically using.
Yeah, good. So here were just me and Ludo's problems, but we really want in this session that you guys send us situations that you are facing and finding in the market, and let's try to figure out at the end of the session if we can help you with any others, or if we can share, like we just did, some experiences that we are having in the recent weeks and months. But now let's move to a more specific, like what is Dexma actually doing to help ESCOs in the world to differentiate their offering. So Let's go ahead.
Just a quick introduction for those of you that don't know Dexma on our business model and how we operate, right? So basically what we provide is, as we were saying before, a software. We focus on the software side and then we try to adapt to the hardware depending on how it comes. So we're a cloud-based energy software developer. So cloud-based is again another keyword. We remain in the cloud. We can be very scalable and reliable in those terms. In a moving world as we are right now, being in the cloud we see as one of the key advantages. And we remain hardware neutral. That was one of the other points that we described. And the main goal is to reduce and track your energy use and cost, right? The way on how we offer this software is always through a network of partners. So we have currently over 230 companies. We have to update this because we keep increasing the number of partners that we get. And most of them are energy services companies, value-added resellers, integrators, installers, or you name it. The idea of customers that we deal with, so you can see some similarities with the customers that you currently have or you're currently targeting, is mainly any customer that has a large energy consumption, right? So here would be some of the brands that we deal with or the companies that we deal with, always through our partners. Now, why do I keep saying that? Because other software companies or other companies that may provide similar services have no problem on targeting the customer and going directly at them. So we do not work in that way. We try to remain scalable, remain small. We're currently a team of 25 people based in sunny Barcelona. And the idea is that through our team and through our partners, we reach more customers, right? So these 25 people, we deal with 235 partners, and that's how we reach over 1,200 customers, right? So the idea here is to keep the model scalable, not go after the end customer, which would take longer and would need some of the expertise that you have, we don't, and focus actively on the partners. So the industry problem, why energy management is important, I'm sure you guys are familiar with, but the idea is, or the main keys are, where do I start looking at and which measures do I implement, right? So this is what you get to see through our software. Now, what does our software look like? Again, for those of you that are not familiar, just a quick overview. The main steps that we help is to detect, monitor, finally to close the circle, to control. And these are some quick screenshots of how we do that. So it's basically through dashboards that you can create and set up different dashboards for different profiles. In the dashboard, you will put on relevant information for you, so you can quickly enter to the solution, identify what's not going well, where there may be an inefficiency, or at the opposite, where there may be some savings. And from there, you jump into the analysis part, where you look deeper into that which you can identify, and you can compare it, apply different KPIs, do benchmarking against other locations, and all of that. So the analysis part is really extensive. I recommend you to just log into the software and check it out and play around with it, because you'll see there's a lot of functionalities. One of which I'd like to focus on is the IPMVP measures. So you can create different measurement and verifications projects where you implement and you do, for instance, you change the lighting to LED lighting in a building, so you can track how you were consuming before the improvement, and once you have installed the new lighting, see how you're saving in real time. So this is, of course, a useful piece for you when you're guaranteeing to your customer a 20% savings with this improvement, but it's also a peace of mind to the customer to be able to log in and see in real time how his money is being spent. So this creates a lot of comfortability to the end customer, and we have a lot of partners only doing this type of ESCO projects, depending on their savings, using this tool that is recognized by the EVO agency in following the IPMVP protocol.
And this is a way to add value, because it's not that you're inventing that there's going to be savings, it's that you are demonstrating, right?
Yeah, through a valid process. So this gives a lot of credit to you and peace of mind to the customer, which is always important. Now, the advanced reports and the ad market is something that we've already tackled with, but again, what we recommend is just logging into our website and registering for the online demo.
Yeah, something to mention here is that our online demo has all the features included. I mean, you can access to all apps and new launch that we do. So you have like what we call the professional account. You have all functionality here, and you can try everything. Then maybe you don't need everything, and you decide for another level of account. But in the demo platform, there's everything there. We don't keep anything for us.
We sort of put it out in the open for you. And if that becomes a little bit complex or overwhelming, which it can in some cases, after you register in the demo, you will receive some emails from me and from Maria, sort of giving you some contact details and how
some
to
tips
reach us.
To start.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, just feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to give you a one-on-one session so we can clear your doubts and give you a small guide onto how to navigate the software.
Yeah, like a short tour.
Exactly.
We do it all the time to show you the tools.
Yeah, we try to be quick and go to the point like we're doing today, so don't worry, it will be short and sweet. So basically, finally, just to close up the go-to-market strategy, the partner program that I mentioned, why some of our partners are choosing us? Well, basically, it's for the data acquisition, which we have mentioned, the advanced features that we offer. You will see that when you log into the software. The average speed time that you have, well, this will always depend on your internet connection, but if you have a stable one, which nowadays is not difficult to find, you'll see that our software goes really, really fast compared to other softwares that you may use. So this is because we were born already in the cloud, and we've managed to build a reliable and scalable platform that you can basically use on your everyday. Now, how we work and what I was introducing before is the relationship is always between Dexma and the partner. The partner will have different profiles. You could be installers, hardware resellers, ESCOs, consultancy firms, utilities, all of that. But it's always going to be Dexma talking to the partner and the partner talking to Dexma. We will never go directly talking to the end customer. Only when an end customer reaches us, we will then identify and see if this is a customer that is already working with you, because we keep a close relationship between our Dexma and our partners. So we will be sort of currently helping you to gain those customers. We will be in the know, knowing which customers are you targeting and helping you. And in those cases, we will redirect that customer back to you, right? Because we will previously know that that is a customer that you're targeting. In case that is a new customer, someone who's generally interested in energy management, as you guys were today, the idea here is that we will identify and qualify this opportunity and send it to one of our trusted partners, depending on the location, the type of businesses that they have, the industry, and what your specialties are, right? So this is sort of the network that we operate in and how we have it distributed. If you want more information on how this works, we have different categories that you can find for our partners, silver, gold, and then platinum. We can basically go deeper if you want on a one-to-one conversation on the number of services that we're offering and how we're doing it. As you see, the branding that Maria and I were talking about before is something that is optional, but only for gold partners. We don't offer it for silver ones. So there's different resources that you'll have depending on the level of commitment that you're willing to take with Dexma, and we'd be happy to increase on this sort of talk on a one-to-one basis with you and solve any questions that you may have, right?
Yep.
So just to wrap up, this was pretty much it. We appreciate your attendance, and we would like to address your questions because we see that some of you have been submitting them through our presentation.
Yeah, and you still have time if you want to send us some questions. We have a couple of questions from a person working in an ESCO in Italy.
Okay.
They are not using currently any kind of software.
Right.
So we have to assume that you guys are working with DEXCell or other kind of project management tools. And they have a couple of questions like, how much time will I save by working with Dexma's platform?
Okay.
And how much shall I invest? The ESCO, how much should they spend in the tool? So let's try to answer this, because it's a quite common situation. Not everyone is actually working with other platforms or with Dexma.
So how they can start from Excel and move into DEXCell, you're saying?
Yeah. something. Yeah, I think that the question is like that. If they have to invest many
Right.
money at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
And how much time can they save? How much?
Right.
What's the real impact on their everyday work?
So basically, what we recommend here is, of course, depending on your background and knowledge, you will benefit more from some training features from Dexma, for instance, our partner program, or if you already are trained and are familiar with the industry, you can benefit more from our support. So both commercial and technical support on your project. I wouldn't say that there's a specific number when it comes to mind as to how much does it cost to start with us, because it usually depends on the project that you're handling.
Yeah.
So basically, depending on the type of project that you have on your table, we're going to try to assess it and come at it in the best way. We do have the prices of the software in our website. So
yeah, that's public.
You're free to open that in our website. You'll find them.
Yeah, I will also say that normally what we recommend is to start with one of our partnership levels, because that way the ESCO can start, as you mentioned, with training, learning about the tool. We will help you on how to position the tool for your prospects. We will help you probably with some leads that we already have in your market. We will go with you hand by hand, and then when it comes the moment to buy the software, it will almost pay itself. Your investment will be really, we have very good return on investments with our partners when they invest and they go with us. So it's kind of, don't see it as how much you have to spend. It's more or less like a training for your company, and yeah, the amount of time that you save, we have covered that topic in previous webinars, more related to the product. I can send you later some links, because it's when our product director joins the webinar is when we really show the platform. You really see how fast it is, how easy it is to work with historic data, that it's not always easy. So yeah, it's
Following that, what you're just saying now about historic data, some other prospect is asking us, in this case from France, how do we deal with you're not having hardware in your, we don't have to integrate with the hardware, but we have to integrate with another system that is collecting the data, say from a VMS or from another platform. Can we integrate with that? The idea would be that yes, we can integrate with SQL databases, with other softwares, with other types of forms where you have data, in the same way that we allow this open integration for you to create apps. We can use our API to connect to other devices or other platforms and collect data from them.
We had another question related to these first steps with Dexma. It's how much time it takes to set up such software and time to commission it. Can Dexma be engaged in a pilot project? And I'm really happy to receive these questions, because we always say that our software, you don't have to install anything in any computer. So it runs on the cloud. So we set up your account, we give you the credentials, you access, and that's it. You need a browser and an internet connection.
That's everything you need.
And of course, getting the data, as we were mentioning, with many different ways of getting it. About pilot projects.
So on the first question, it's not only that. So the time is basically
I don't know, hours. I would say hours.
And then regarding also to the first question you were saying, so in order to start using it, it can take another set of hours or maybe a day or two, following our Dexma Energy Academy, which is part of the benefits that we offer to our partners. And there you can get information on how to run the software, how to work it. So the sort of learning curve will be much faster. And you can get info on how to do that there.
And even, for example, in different cases, when you don't do the setup from the beginning for a client and you are migrating data from another system or things like that, we have done very large migrations of data in 48 hours or very little time. Seriously, huge amount of data from big projects. It's migrating in 48 hours thanks to our open platform on our APA.
Right.
And then related to pilot projects, I think
Yes.
that we do pretty few of them.
I mean, it's always one way to work it. If you want to sort of do a test ride on our software before you purchase it, it's one way to go. Again, we will have to sort of understand the magnitude of the whole project, define that, what would be what the full-scale project would be looking like, and then from there, together with you, set up a pilot project on how to work it. Now, this is related to this in terms of the setup of the hardware.
There's another question.
That's many of you asking if the hardware has to be set up from you, or do we do it, or how do we do it? Well, basically, we do not go there and install. So as we were saying, we're basically a small company based in Barcelona. We focus on the software. But since we have this network of 235 partners that we keep increasing, we do have some installers around you or some other companies we don't know how to do it. So if this is something that you're not going to be that comfortable with because you're coming from a different field, we can recommend a local installer that can help you set up the hardware. Again, these are not, those hardware devices are not very complicated, are not very difficult to install, and it can be done by any electrician. And while there are many other questions coming from you, we wanted to keep this webinar short and sweet. What we will do is probably address them on a one-to-one basis directly with you after.
There's a couple more related to hardware and how the hardware connects to the platform. Actually, we had that slide initially in the presentation, but it's a little bit more technical, so we didn't want to go into many details here for hardware thing, because it's always, as we mentioned in the challenges in the market before, it's something that we know you're worried about. So for those of you with these couple of questions, we won't take them now, but we are going to send you a specific and detailed email later explaining more how the connection is done, because we know this is really a fast session. Very simple, just...
we want to keep it a little bit general to everybody so that it's interesting. And again, those other questions that are more specific, we will tackle them on a one-to-one with you, if that's all right with you. As well as we will be sending to all of you, because we saw that some of you came a little bit late, and that's all right. We are recording this session and we will send it to you afterwards. So if you want to get in touch with us, just feel free to reply to our email with the session and get in touch with us directly.
Totally. And once again, thank you very much for connecting today with us. We will keep going even during the summer with the I don't know how to say, but first steps sessions for ESCOs, utilities, and these kind of businesses that are starting their path into the energy efficiency.
Absolutely.
And we will try to cover all these topics that generate more and more questions.
Feel free to send us some questions that you may have, and if we find it relevant, we will try to address them on webinars.
Especially to me, because I'm trying to figure out new topics for next sessions. So just drop me a line and we will try to cover it. Thank you very much for being there.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.